Some people have asked me questions about what I look for when I interview a developer. Well, the simple answer is they've got to have the right attitude, and in some ways that's more important to me than their ability to regurgitate C# syntax and solid principles. I'm looking for somebody who's got that dedication and that yearning to learn new things and be open to a fresh perspective. Somebody who's got a passion for clean code in a similar way that I do. They don't necessarily have to code in the same style as me, but it's important they've got that sense of professionalism that means that their coding standards they hold themselves to are way up here. And like I've said on my blog, there shouldn't be anybody that can hold you to a higher standard than that which you hold yourself. i.e., you should already be holding yourself personally to a standard that is way above anything anybody else could ask of you. The other thing I look for in an interview is people answering questions honestly. I don't know is a valid answer to any interview question, and them showing some sort of interest in what the actual answer is means they might actually get a little bit of free coaching out of that interview at the same time. It's more important that you understand what you don't know than proving to somebody what you do. As Mark Twain once said, it's not the things we don't know that hurt us, it's those things we know for absolute certain that just aren't true. As far as resume or CV goes, I'm kind of more interested in the things that you've achieved, not the things you've necessarily learned. I kind of expect learning to be an ongoing and continuous journey for any software engineer. I've never stopped learning, and I don't think any other engineer who feels themselves to be professional will ever stop. The only thing that is absolutely constant in the world of software development is change. But hey, that's not to say that I'm not interested in coding ability. I absolutely am. But I'll look to gain that insight into your coding knowledge by giving you something to do. So expect homework if you ever get an interview from me. What I'm looking for in that is more how you approach a problem. So a lot of interviews do this. They actually are looking not so much at what the solution is, because let's face it, most of you have been a developer at some point in your life before you're going for a job, unless you're absolutely new to the development game. But even then, you may have some college or university experience. Therefore, there's a fair chance you're able to write code. What we're looking for is how you approach problem solving and how you tackle your first lines of code. Do you do that test first? Do you do it test last? Do you look for kind of a more of a behavior driven approach? What's your go-to first step for writing any code? As far as what that piece of work or homework is, you might find you get something very similar to the asterisk tower kata, which you can find in one of my earlier videos. You may also get something like Conway's Game of Life, which is another favourite of mine. These are relatively simple software problems to solve, but that goes to say I'm more interested in how, not whether you can solve the problem. And again, we'll be looking for how clean that code is. What, if any, documentation or plan you did? Did you start with a scrap of paper, a Word document, a flowchart, or did you just write lines of code straight away? An ability to kind of show the fundamentals of software structure is important. You need to be able to show you understand loops, iterations, differences, and maybe be able to answer some questions on the pitfalls you could come across when writing code. Those are the only bits that are likely to be language specific. If you can write in one language, there's a good chance you can learn another relatively easily, because most of the core parts of programming are exactly the same. The other key thing I'm looking for is somebody who's got some sort of personality. I'm not looking for somebody who's only interested in being in a darkened room for 7 hours a day and not communicating or interacting with anybody else. Software development is as much about communicating, whether that be verbally or through your code. So an understanding of other people and being able to interact with them is truly, truly valuable. If you found this video of value, why not click on like, click on subscribe, then click on the bell so you get notifications when I post new videos.